Have you ever stopped and wondered if one single choice could change Heartland forever? Because that's exactly where we are right now. Season 19 ended with a moment that could completely reshape Amy's future, and maybe even the future of the entire series. Nathan's proposal wasn't just another romantic scene. It felt like a turning point. A moment that forced Amy to ask herself a question she has been avoiding for a long time. Can she truly start a new life without leaving behind the one she already loves? And the answer to that question could decide everything that happens in Season 20. When I look back at the Season 19 finale, the biggest thing that stands out is how much pressure Amy is suddenly facing. On the surface, Nathan's proposal seems simple. A man in love asks the woman he loves to build a future with him. That's usually the kind of moment viewers celebrate without thinking twice. But in Amy's case, things are much more complicated. This isn't just about whether she wants to marry Nathan. It's about whether she is willing to leave behind a life that has defined her for almost her entire existence. For years, Heartland has been more than a ranch to Amy. It has been the center of her world. Every major memory is connected to that land. It's where she learned from her mother. It's where she grew into the horse trainer that viewers admire today. It's where she experienced happiness, heartbreak, success, and loss. Every corner of Heartland holds a piece of her story. That's what makes this situation so difficult. Nathan isn't simply asking Amy to marry him. He's asking her to imagine a future somewhere else. And honestly, that's a much bigger decision than many people realize. When Nathan started talking about Salt Spring Island and the future he wanted to build there, you could see how serious he was. He wasn't making empty promises. He wasn't trying to impress Amy with some dream that would disappear a few weeks later. He genuinely believes they can create a wonderful life together. More importantly, he clearly sees both Amy and Lindy as part of that future. That is one of the reasons why so many fans have started supporting Nathan. Throughout Season 19, he constantly found himself dealing with problems that weren't even his responsibility. Again and again, he had to clean up situations created by other people. Many times, it felt like he was carrying burdens that should never have belonged to him in the first place. Instead of focusing on his own happiness, he spent much of the season trying to fix things around him. That's why his decision to focus on the ranch project felt important. For the first time in a long while, Nathan seemed to be building something for himself. Something positive. Something hopeful. And when he asked Amy to join him, it didn't feel selfish. It felt like he was offering her a place in the future he had worked so hard to create. But here's where things become complicated. Amy's life isn't something that can be packed into boxes and moved across the country. Her connection to Heartland runs far deeper than that. Every day, Lindy is surrounded by family. She has Jack, she has Lou, she has Katie. She has people who love her and support her. Heartland gives Lindy something many children never get to experience. It gives her a large family that is always close by. If Amy accepts Nathan's proposal and decides to leave, that changes everything. Suddenly, family gatherings become less frequent. Daily visits become phone calls. Important moments become harder to share. Even if everyone remains close emotionally, the distance would create challenges that don't exist right now. And I think Amy knows that. That's why I don't believe we're going to see an immediate answer at the beginning of Season 20. In fact, I think the writers will make this one of the biggest storylines of the entire season. Amy has always been someone who carefully thinks through major life decisions. She doesn't rush into things. She listens to her heart, but she also considers the people around her. This situation demands exactly that kind of thinking. Because no matter what she chooses, someone will be affected. If she says yes and agrees to move, she risks leaving behind the place that has been her home for years. If she says no, she risks hurting a man she clearly cares about deeply. Neither option is easy. That's what makes this storyline so interesting. For the first time in a long while, Amy's future feels completely uncertain. Usually, viewers can predict where her story is heading, but right now, there are several different paths in front of her, and each one leads somewhere very different. Another thing worth paying attention to is how the writers have slowly developed Amy's relationship with Nathan over time. They didn't rush this story, they allowed it to grow naturally. Viewers watched trust build between them. We watched them support each other during difficult moments. We watched Amy slowly open her heart again after everything she has experienced. That slow development makes Nathan's proposal feel earned. If this relationship had appeared out of nowhere, fans might not have taken it seriously. But because the writers invested so much time into their connection, the proposal carries real emotional weight. At the same time, Heartland has always been a show about family as much as romance. That's why I think season 20 won't focus only on Amy and Nathan as a couple. It will focus on what their future means for everyone around them. How will Jack react if Amy starts considering a move? What will Lou think about the possibility of seeing less of her niece? How will Katie handle another major change within the family? And perhaps most importantly, how will Lindy feel about leaving the only home she has truly known? These questions create opportunities for some of the most emotional scenes we've seen in years. I can already imagine family conversations around the dinner table, quiet moments between Amy and Jack, honest talks between Amy and Lou. The kind of scenes Heartland does better than almost any other show. Because at its core, this isn't a story about choosing between two places. It's a story about choosing between two futures. One future keeps Amy exactly where she has always been, surrounded by the people she loves at Heartland. The other future asks her to step into something new with Nathan and build a different life together. Both futures offer happiness. Both futures require sacrifice. And that is exactly why Amy's decision could become the most important storyline of season 20. By the time the season begins, viewers won't just be watching to find out whether Amy says yes or no. They'll be watching to discover who Amy wants to become next. And if the writers handle this story the right way, her journey toward that answer could give us one of the most emotional and unforgettable seasons Heartland has ever delivered.